all the nerds.
So last week was the start of Heroes Reborn, which I completely missed at first. I didn't even know it started, and I binge watched the original 4 seasons.
Well, it's because it's that time of year where everything just comes out at one shot.
Yeah, all the shows are starting up.
Did you rewatch it?
No, I've never seen Heroes before, so I binge watched the 4 seasons, and I really enjoyed it. And then you'd said, "Oh, the new season started," so I watched that. A week later, the 2-hour premiere.
Yeah,
it was all right. It was pretty good.
I just watched the first part, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was waiting to see familiar faces. Sorry, what?
I haven't watched it yet, so I'm going to be the external point of view in all this because I've watched all 4 seasons 3 times.
Really?
So
yeah. 3 times?
That was my favorite show back in the days.
Like even the last seasons.
We're gonna go on about that. Yeah.
But yeah, I was waiting. Throughout the episode, I was waiting to see familiar faces, and the only ones we got were Noah and the Haitian Renee.
Yeah,
and
we got a picture of Mohinder.
You got a couple of images of Mohinder.
The voice of Claire.
The voice of Claire and Mohinder at the end of episode 1. And
doing his narration, which
the face of Angela,
the face of Angela, when he narrates, why do we.
Oh, okay.
We make choices, and we, that
so we know they're in there, but they weren't in the first 2 hours?
No.
Only, what happens, it's spoiler, John, but what happens is that people are accepting...
This whole episode's going to be a spoiler to them.
the whole thing is that after Claire throws herself off the Ferris wheel at the end of season 4, people know that the specials, which they're now calling Evos for evolution...
Yeah, the mutants.
Yeah. People know they exist, and they're kind of accepting of them, and they're doing this world fair of uniting
and
them.
That's 4 years into the future for this fair, and then shit goes down.
So it takes place. That's what I didn't get. It takes place 4 years after that episode.
4 years after that episode.
Well, the first part of the first part, is only 3 years in the future. After that, it's skip another year.
It's 4 years. It's totally 5 years after.
Oh, okay.
Because they do 4 years. Explosion. Then they do a couple of weeks later. Where I see the Invisible
and then it shows
Man,
all the other people.
And then it does a year.
So during this world event, this world fair of uniting humans and specials, a bomb goes off and basically kills almost everyone.
A bomb or an Evo is...
No, it doesn't explain.
Well,
it
they
just
blame the Evos.
Yeah, they blame the Evos, of course. And on the news it says Mohinder Suresh takes full responsibility of the attack or whatever, but some people don't believe that because, it's Mohinder. And Noah Bennett...
Mohinder, in the original one, he started... He really didn't know what side he was on.
Yeah. Well, especially in the third season that he injected.
He started
turning.
Yeah.
Is he still a cockroach man?
No,
because of the moon changed and.
No.
At the end, he still had superpowers.
Yes,
super strength.
When he was creating the serum to create super people, when they came in, when Peter, I don't remember the guy with the flames and the guy that could absorb fear.
Yeah.
They trashed the lab, and in trashing the lab, all the fluid that was endowed with the catalyst fell onto Mohinder, and it fixed the ability in him, so he kept his strength.
Exactly. So he still had his...
He fixed just his appearance.
It fixed the problem in the mixture that he had created.
So he still had his agility and his super strength and all that. Yeah. But he's now like Ando. He was just injected, and he has his power through the injection. Mm-hmm. So this bomb goes off, and Noah Bennett's there, and he's looking for Claire because he got a phone. He called her on the phone and stuff, and he's like, we haven't spoken in a long time, but it's going to be good to see you. Is he
still the main guy for...
Kinda. No, because he... It starts off, it's like, oh, that's Noah, and then the bomb happens, and then it's a year later, and throughout, it shows a montage of all the new characters for this series, Heroes Reborn. And it's all these people we've never seen before. There's the guy from Chuck, Zachary Levi. Yeah. There's this guy from Quebec. There's another kid from LA, and there's all these people that it's showing who are the main characters of this series.
And the powers that we were introduced to are really no powers that we haven't seen already.
Yeah.
How's Sylar?
A few
He's not there.
kind of.
It's not there?
No.
Fuck. Personally, I was watching the show for Sylar. I love how he was.
I don't even think he's in the credits for a
unless they like surprise the audience with him in like the last episode or something. But
because he was very like a dark, but like an emotionless person. You just want to see how he's gonna act and how he's gonna react.
He started that way. He started like that in season 1, but the character changed so much throughout the 4 seasons that honestly, I found it was too much. I thought,
let's move on.
I thought it was
redundant.
It became all about Sylar, the show, because kind of the same way that Sheldon became like the face of Big Bang Theory, Sylar became the face of Heroes, but they tried to do too many things with him over and over again with each season that I found it kind of just lost its magic.
They did that with all the other casts as well. With the last season, 2 seasons. They kept on switching people's like personalities, like Nathan and all that. He had morals, and he didn't have morals anymore.
I really like what they did with Hero, saying that he was going to die, but he wanted to
right his wrong.
Remember when Hero went to the future?
Yeah.
And everybody was like a mercenary, super agent and shit. Mm-hmm. Is this following through something? It was like a parallel universe.
This was like a possible future if the course of events weren't changed in the season, which they were throughout the season. Each season, every future that he saw was changed by the end of it.
Okay, perfect.
It all comes around. In the end, it all revolves around Hero going into the future to see what the problem is. But Hero's always been kind of, I found, like, he's my favorite character, but he's also been kind of like a background character for every season. He's there, he sees what the problem is going to be, and then everyone else kind of like works to solve it.
Well, he's cast for like 5 or 4 episodes.
Yeah,
I think.
like that.
You see him in the preview for the next episode.
I'm really excited about that.
What? Surprised to see me?
Excited about that.
Yeah, but it was. You see, like I said, you see the Haitian and
vibe-wise, did you get the feel of Heroes, or did it feel like it was just a new show?
I got the vibe of the first season.
Okay. Yeah, same.
That was good.
I liked what they did, and I hope they continue it like they did with the other seasons, where they incorporated the volume and the chapter in the background.
They have done that.
Yeah, which I like that. I like that little.
Yeah, they did in Chapter 1, Awakening. It was like
that
a
1-2
graffiti.
seconds.
Yeah.
No,
like
it's
cool.
It's
like in a building, or it's on the beach, or it's incorporated into the scene. And
I think they're
really
going to. I think so. Well, you know what I did not like? That guy with the beard that's following Noah around. I hated the character. He was so annoying. The guy looking for his sister.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, I feel like, I don't know if you only saw the first episode, so I don't think you saw him.
The guy that was being arrested.
Okay, yeah.
That Noah confronts.
You find out his backstory is that he's looking for his sister who was either taken or died in the explosion.
Everything revolves around that incident for a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like every season, it's like a big incident that makes all the heroes come together. But this guy, he starts out and he sounds like this, those generic conspiracy theorist characters. Yeah. Like, man, the government is hiding everything, and like, how do you not remember what happened?
Is it like a hippie?
Like, not hippie-ish, but he's just really annoying. And every time he spoke, I was like, I don't care.
Shut up and get to your point.
I was like, and it was like always the same thing. He was like, how do you not remember what happened? Because Renee wiped Noah's memory of everything that happened. That's another fucking thing, too. It's like, Noah had this big plan, and we don't know what it is. I assume it's going to be throughout the series. We're going to find out.
So it's going to be like every other freaking superhero show. It's a flashback show.
Yeah, it's going to show like how one thing led to another, whether Mohinder is guilty or...
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I'm really, really expecting is... One of the things I liked from the first seasons is that whole time, connection with like if you play with the past, you will change the future. I really want that for Heroes Reborn also, because that's the main thing I like with Heroes.
Talking about like,
and that's why I like Hero, because he's the main one doing that.
Talking about flashbacks and what you liked about the first ones and what you like about the new ones, what did you guys like about what was past? This is 1 to 4. What's the best thing that you want to see in the next ones?
The time connection.
Time connection?
The playing with time.
Well, they have to explain essentially what happened.
In this time that we've missed.
Yeah, in that all the time. Because what I read before this premiere that it was going to be 5 years in the future, and there was everything that happened between the last episode of season 4 to now. There was something that happened, but they couldn't do it. So with them coming back, they wanted to keep that time, relevant. Like it happened.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know what it is,
I
but
think
stuff happened.
The whole show revolves around that, keeping it vague and keeping it like mysterious and never really explaining.
Well, they
so
really
much
kept
of
it
that.
vague in this one here at the beginning. You have
It's
no
always
idea
vague.
what's
Even
going
at
on.
the end. In the end, there's so many things that happen. Like I was talking about when they went to the future, and you're like, oh, something happened. You don't really know. Anytime.
Yeah,
like, what
like,
really
again,
happened.
it all has to do with time travel stuff. What Hero or Peter in that case sees in the future. So in season 1, Hero goes to New York, the future New York, and sees the bomb go off.
My favorite like episode.
Yeah.
Was the best. It was
Mr.
the best.
Mr. Isaac.
Dude, you can see the
first
future
time he
Peter
says,
Petrelli
"Yeah!"
with the scar, and then like at the end, the fight
cliche.
between Peter and Siler doing like their
In the hallway.
goosebumps.
Yeah, but you see, that was playing up to the fact that Siler was going to be Nathan.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe not since the beginning, but they knew how to complete
They
it.
showed him
And
being
that's what I want to see.
the
That's what I wanna
shapeshifter
see,
already
that
at the
one.
beginning, and you
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to that until later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
That's
how they're connecting it.
And that's another thing. That's when Peter goes to. Is that when Peter travels through time?
No, and-
or is that future Peter in the future fighting?
That's the present
'Cause-
Hero goes in the future Peter time.
There you go.
Yes,
That's what it
yes.
is. But that's season like
season 3.
3.
Yeah.
Season 3, the future Peter goes into the past.
Yeah. But by then they're
And
already
then kills his
writing.
brother.
But by then they're already writing future episodes.
Exactly,
That's why
yeah,
they
exactly.
could complete it. But starting from season 1, when they didn't know what the show was gonna happen with it, so Hero goes to the future, sees the bomb go off. Everyone tries to stop this bomb. The exploding man, who ends up being Siler, because his whole thing was that he could take up other people's, not take other people's powers, just learn how to do them.
That's what we thought it was.
At first, it was written as if he's
But it
taking
comes
their
with the
powers.
hunger.
That was okay. This is like another thing. That's
Did
something I
they
hated
explain?
too.
I don't really remember. All I remember is that Siler could not actually be an Evo. He's actually eating.
No.
people.
Season.
And
I
it's
remember
very
reading
vague.
about this because
It's so fucking vague.
it pissed me off so much.
Yeah,
Like
me
I
too.
said, that so much was happening with Siler. I'm like, the character doesn't make sense anymore. So I read about the character. Originally, it was written that he. You know how in season when you first meet him, he says, "Oh, I understand how
His
things
powers
work."
is
His
understanding.
power is understanding how things work.
Yeah.
Now, every body he leaves in his wake is missing its brain, so people were assuming that he was eating the brains to get their powers.
Are you gonna eat it?
Eat your brain. Claire, that's disgusting.
But then the writers changed their minds and they said, it's a little too
And they make a
zombie-ish.
joke about that.
Exactly. Like, are you
That's
gonna
in
eat my
season-
brains? Like, oh, come on,
That's
Claire.
disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
So it doesn't.
But you don't
explain,
really know.
It doesn't explain any of this. You just
Yes,
saw
sir.
that the brain is missing. Then finally, when they decide on how his powers work, and we see him cut open Claire's head, he's feeling around her brain, and she says, "Oh, are you going to eat my brain?" They make that joke. His power is understanding how things work. So him poking and prodding her brain, he understands how her power works, and that's how he gets the power.
But
Which is how he learned Peter how to use them. By fixing his watch.
But Angela Petrelli teaches Siler later on that you don't have to actually kill. Actually, it wasn't Angela.
Yes.
It was Robert.
I'm not sure.
One of the other people that works for.
But
Okay, go on.
But that's something.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. It's all of a sudden, Siler gets this brand new power that we don't see him acquire. At least I don't remember him seeing acquire. Is that he could touch an object and get all the memories from that object. When did that happen? That came out of.
This is Bridget, and she has a very special ability. Any object she touches, she can see its history. Everywhere it's been, everyone who's ever touched it.
That came out of nowhere for me, and that really
Oh, no,
bugged
he
me.
got
When did he get that? Because I don't remember that at all.
He dressed up as a UPS
Yes.
person and went into the building,
Yes,
and it was. Oh no, that
was the
no,
lying.
That was the lying one.
that was the
lying
lying.
one.
Yeah,
I
this
forget
power.
what it was.
I'm
I
pretty
remember
sure.
seeing it.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't remember. I remember watching the show, and then all of a sudden, I think it's Angela that says, "Oh, he could touch objects and remember get all the memories
Yeah, well,
from an
that I
object,
saw
and
that.
I was like, where did that come from? It's so random.
But he also learned the
I
ability.
remember someone that he killed.
Yeah, me too.
It must have been, because I don't...
He was also taught when he was locked up with Elle, when Elle was sort of going crazy, how to use or learn someone else's ability.
That's Elle who taught Sylar you can learn from touching
without touching.
Without the killing, I mean.
Without killing,
Yeah.
that you could be just with the person and have a conversation with them and say a few words of making an understanding of how their power works.
But then-
and then Sylar is able to use
Elle is
it.
Kristen Bell's character, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Okay.
And that's something that pissed me off about the first seasons, is that all the beloved characters kept dying. Like, I love Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
I think she was a great character. She was a great addition. But the directors didn't see any future or something in contract. I don't know. They killed her,
Uh-huh.
and I thought that was a waste. And not only her, so many other characters.
Yeah. But see, with powers like that, I was upset if we go with Sylar and all that, and you go on to, say, Nathan.
Uh-huh.
When Sylar takes over for Nathan,
Yep.
Sylar is able to fly like Nathan.
Yeah.
And there was not a really interaction with Sylar and Nathan with him flying.
But they
in order
did
to-
fight.
Bridget Bailey.
Yes.
Bridget Bailey is who Angela allows Sylar to kill to get the power of history.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
remember any of
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Angela
now.
gives Sylar in his cell. Like, here's someone for you. I remember that.
Okay. There
That
you
was
go.
like one of the first people that she sort of fed her to. But
But yeah, you
when-
were saying, yeah.
okay, with Sylar using Nathan's power of flight, yes, okay, there was not an interaction, but you're saying they were flying, they sort of
They
fought
fight.
together.
We don't see the fight happen, but that's when he kills Nathan.
And how come when Peter touches Sylar Nathan that he only gets the ability to fly?
Because Peter, at that point, could only absorb one power at a time, not all the
Yes.
powers.
Then how is he absorbing just that one power? To
Yeah,
me,
'Cause
if
that's
he was
the
touching
one
Sy-
he's more familiar with.
Why
If
is he
he
not
was
absorbing the power of
Sylar's
anything else?
knowing.
Yeah.
Sylar, does at that point that you're talking about, does Sylar know he's Nathan? Sylar/Nathan? Or does he still think he's Nathan?
He still
Maybe-
thinks he's
yeah.
Nathan,
There you
but
go.
still, it's at a genetic level. Sylar is using the abilities of other superheroes.
Yeah, but exactly.
Yeah, but it's genetic. He changed his
it's
genetic.
It's not just using them; he has them. He has the power.
Now that he
So-
knows how to use the power.
Exactly. So if Peter, it's or he has them all, or he chooses one.
I would think that
and I will
it's
go
because
with the one he's more familiar
his
with.
original power would be the power that Peter would absorb.
That's what you think it should be.
That's
Yeah.
the part that makes
Yeah, but no,
sense.
but he changes complete genetics to look like the other guy, like Nathan. So,
yeah, because how
Okay,
I'm
then
thinking
how come Nathan can use Sylar's ability?
because that's Sylar, him remembering himself as being
Before
Sylar.
that,
Before that?
he was sitting in his office.
It's true, and he accidentally moves the
accidentally
coffee.
moves the coffee.
Yeah.
He does the electricity, and he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, he just thinks he's getting more abilities.
And Sylar's not in his head yet.
Yeah, that's
Sylar
true.
is stuck in Matt Partman's head.
Yeah, that's true.
So he has all the abilities. How come it's only that one that's being absorbed?
Oh, that's true.
Like, if anything, it would be absorbing Sylar's...
Busted!
No, but if anything, it would be absorbing Sylar's original ability to know how things work, and then... Well,
And
that
then
would,
he would
that
get
would
his
cause,
powers back.
That would
All the
cause
powers.
somewhat of a plot twist, because he would touch Nathan to get his flight, and wait a minute.
I
How
can't
come I'm
fly.
not getting flight?
Yeah. And, yeah, putting
Oh.
things together.
What's going on here?
maybe after a while he absorbs what he wants because at the end
Yeah. Well,
maybe he's like, oh, he can fly, so I'm going to absorb the fly.
yeah, because
But
he
in
knows...
fact, he could have absorbed anything.
If he because he knows that Hero has the power to control time. He says, "Hero, I'm going to take your powers for a second, so I can go to get that kid that can heal you." You know,
All right, I think one final thought that we should go. We go back to Heroes Reborn.
Heroes Reborn. Yeah,
Since you didn't see it and you didn't get that far, oh, you got a bit of it.
you got the first episode.
The CG,
CG.
video game fight. Thoughts on that?
That was.
I don't
Because that was like
understand
a big part of the 2 episodes.
Yeah, there's a girl who in Japan. This kid comes to her door and he's like, "Oh, I'm like the world's greatest gamer at this one particular game. I'm at the second to last level because in video games, there's no strategy guides in fictional video games. He's like, I'm at the second to last level, and I have all the characters unlocked except one named Katana Girl. Nobody knows how to unlock her, and I'm the best in the world at this game.
And I was given this address.
I was given in the game. There's a secret code that leads me to your address, and she's like, no, I don't know who you are. Get out. He's like, oh, you're Katana Girl, and he shows her this comic book of the game.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, like there's a sword hidden under your dad's desk, and it's missing, and your dad is missing, and she's like, no, he's not. Go away.
Go away.
And then she goes in the dad's office and finds the sword.
Exactly how it's depicted in the book that he shows her.
Yeah. And it kind of looks like Hero's sword with the symbol on it. You say it's a bit different. I didn't notice.
There's
personally.
a different line on it.
So it looks a bit.
Sure?
Yeah.
It looks a bit like.
I could be wrong.
Point is that it's a sword, a katana with like what looks like the hero's symbol, and she takes the sword out
and as
she
soon as she does
digitized and goes into the video game.
Yeah.
And that's like that's like a lot of her story arc is in the game, and then the kid comes by again, and he's like, "Oh, you're in the game. What's going on?"
And he logs in.
her. he logs into the game and starts playing the game. And
he's like a
helping
samurai
her.
with a cat hat and a cat
Because
head.
we're assuming it's like some sort of online game or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, my father's being kept in this building," and she puts, "We got to get into that building," and it's like a building in actual Japan. And she's like, "No, we're gonna get there via the video game, and then we're gonna fight them in real life." And it's like, it's
and
really confusing.
And that's how the second episode sort of ends.
Yeah.
She gets into this area in the video game,
Yeah.
and she has all these samurai warriors coming after her, and then she just goes like this and puts her
puts
sword
the
back,
sword
in,
back.
and all of a sudden she's in this business building, and all these
Holy
security
shit.
guards.
and all the security guards are
in
where
the-
the samurai were standing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then it just does to be continued, and it's like,
But
Is it nice or is it kind
It's
of
weird.
sketchy?
It's with the building, or what do you mean?
Well, the whole scene
CG
of like
it's just weird. I don't.
it's unnecessary. Like, it's a weird. It doesn't feel like it's a computer generated game, yeah, but it doesn't have that.
And her father's actually in the game. He's like, "Oh, we have a lot of work to do, and you shouldn't, blah blah blah." And
Did she actually like innately understood that she had to close it, or there was
Well,
like some sort of
not
explanation?
really, no. It's
It's like I know how it works.
well, it's kind of
just
obvious.
like once she's in the game, she's a super samurai, and
Well,
she's like
all those
killing all-
Tron's gonna kind of freak out when she digitizes. It's like Tron.
yeah.
Whoa! Like she
No,
cubes.
it happens like the
shit
same
is
way.
real.
Like it cubes. Like
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She like
Yeah.
undoes the sword, and starting from the sword to the rest of her, it like and like digitizes down into nothingness. And then when she puts the sword back,
now
she
he's
like
gonna say, "Oh, there's no
digitizes up.
problem with that scene there. No, that sounds about right."
Nice.
But it's like it's a very weird superpower.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
but in
to
the
be in
world,
that one
you
single.
liked it or
game.
not?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
Watching
That
it,
aspect?
Will
yeah.
you keep watching it?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna
For the
watch
show,
the show.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
of course. But that scene,
If anything, it's to see the cameos of the past
And
heroes.
does she get controlled by the guy?
no, she's playing herself.
What's the point? You're just traveling in a video game in the real world.
She's trying it. Essentially.
It's yeah.
she has the ability
it's
of
weird.
Tron.
If she dies, she dies.
We don't know. The kid asks her because she gets hit in the head and she goes unconscious. But when she like gets knocked out, she's putting her sword away and she falls
In
while putting
real
the
life,
sword.
yeah.
And then she digitizes unconscious in the real world, and the kid he's like, "Hey, if you die, are you gonna?" It's really strange. I'm gonna watch. I like it so far. It's pretty good. We haven't seen many of the old cast
No.
because it's introducing all the new cast, but I'm gonna see it because I like Heroes now of like overall. So
and
I'm
it's
gonna watch
nice
the
to have
rest
them
of the
back
show.
on TV.
Exactly.
And you said there was a new bad guy.
Well, the new
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi's character is kind of like there's not a clear villain though. It's the company. There's a company called
Yeah.
something that the company that owned Primatech is like the bad shadow company.
Yeah.
And then Zachary Levi's character is like a bad guy, but I think he's gonna like.
And his story is weak though, right?
I think.
Well, it's a vendetta.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I
it's
think he's
so-
gonna turn like halfway through or something.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure of it.
Well, yeah, when they meet up with the kid in the diner, and he sort of says, "Oh, did you see what happened last night at the meeting?" And he's like,
He's like, oh shit, the kid's
you can
here.
see in his face, like, "Kid,
Well,
you gotta go. You gotta
Yeah,
get
he
out
doesn't
of
want
here."
to kill the kid, obviously, but it's good. So it's okay so far. I want to see more, and I want to see the old characters.
Yeah.
And that digital ninja thing is just strange, and
We'll
I want to see where they
happens.
go with that.
are,
we are,
and we are all the nerds.